Hi, it's Edutainium. Look at this problem here. I'll read the question while you can solve it in your head or pause the video. A square is divided into 9 rectangles as shown in the diagram. The areas of 3 of the rectangles are as shown. The central rectangle is a square. What's the perimeter of the bottom left rectangle? Done? Let me show you how most people think they do it. Easy, right? That looks like a square, so its side lengths are 1 cm. And if that's 1, and the area is 3, then that side is 3 cm. And if that's 3, area 6, then that will be 2. So the side lengths of the unknown rectangle are 1 and 2. So the perimeter is double their sum, which is 6. Wrong! Who told you that was a square? Who told you the side lengths are all whole numbers? Exactly. No one. Let me show you how it's actually done. We can first mark down some lengths we might use later on. We can call this A, that B, and then X and Y, where X and Y are the side lengths of the unknown rectangle. It is always easier to start with recording what we know about the question. As the big rectangle here is a square, we know that all the sides are of equal length. And as the center rectangle is also a square, we know that these 4 lines are of the same length as well. We can call that Z. How does that help? Well, now we know that the side lengths of the large square are equal, we can set up an equation as follows. A plus Z plus X equals Y plus Z plus B. We can cancel the Z's on both sides and get A plus X equals Y plus B. Let's remember that for now. We are asked to find the perimeter of the unknown rectangle, which is 2 times brackets x plus y. So it's useful to set up equations with x and y in them to figure out what they are. Let's keep that in mind as well. What else do we know? That's right. A times y equals 1, a times b equals 3, and x times b equals 6. We can also easily figure out the area of the unknown rectangle by looking at the ratios of the other 3 rectangles. We see that the ratio of this rectangle and that one on its right is 1 to 3. Because these 2 lines are straight lines, the bottom 2 rectangles will also follow this 1 to 3 ratio. So if that rectangle is 6, the unknown area of this rectangle will be 2. Or use another perspective. That rectangle to the one under it is 1 to 2. So because of these 2 straight lines, the other 2 rectangles are split the same way too. So 1 to 2. Therefore, now we know that x times y is 2. Now afterwards will all be calculations, but don't leave, because now we've not assumed anything, we can clearly work out the actual correct answer. We can recall that a plus x equals y plus b, and also these 4 things we marked down earlier. We can rearrange a, x, and b in terms of y to figure out what y is. Feel free to replay this part and look at how each variable rearranges. It would take another minute if I actually explained each of them. Okay, so now we get a equals 1 over y, x equals 2 over y, and b equals 3y. So substituting everything back into a plus x equals y plus b, we get 1 over y plus 2 over y equals y plus 3y. Simplifying that gives us 3 over y equals 4y. And then multiplying by y and dividing by 4 and square rooting on both sides gives us y equals root 3 over 4. And that can be simplified as root 3 over root 4. Well, root 4 is just 2, so it can also be simplified as root 3 over 2. Now we know what y is, let us recall that x times y is equal to 2. So after rearranging, we know that x is 2 over y, which is 2 over root 3 over 2. So when we have something over a fraction, we can simplify it as its reciprocal multiplied by the numerator. So the reciprocal of root 3 over 2 is just flipping it upside down, which is 2 over root 3. And multiplying that by 2, the numerator, gives us 4 over root 3. In math, we like to rationalize denominators. That means making the square root there a whole number. We can do that by multiplying the whole thing by root 3 over root 3, which is just multiplying by 1 written in a more complicated way. Then we get x equals 4 root 3 over 3. So now we know the values of both x and y, which is 4 root 3 over 3 and root 3 over 2. We can recall that we want the perimeter, which is 2 times brackets x plus y, because x and y are its lengths and widths. We can make x and y appear with a common denominator, 6, by multiplying x by 2 over 2 and y by 3 over 3. They're both just 1 written in another way. Then we get 2 times 8 root 3 over 6 plus 3 root 3 over 6. The sum of x and y then will be 11 root 3 over 6. Multiply that by 2 and we can get 11 root 3 over 3. And that is the correct answer. Quite surprising, right? The answer is, if we put it in decimal form, 6.352. Just a little bit more than 6, the assumed answer. It isn't very far off, but still, that's why we never assume information. I hope you found this video interesting. Please like and subscribe. Have fun with maths and see you next time.